Martin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hopefully you've been keeping well, and in this video today I'm going to do a little update what's been happening to me and what I've been up to. So there's been lots of things happening for myself. Been quite busy, so I haven't actually had too much time to make content for yourselves and for myself, but I want to get right back into it. Now I have some more time and my way my week is rotated, I will have a bit more time to make more content. So what's been happening, I basically have been obviously past my level 2 part 1 bookkeeping with AAT. I think that was the last video I made about I was struggling with that, and now obviously I have passed that. I scraped through, but I did pass it, which is the most important thing, all by myself on that one, which I'm really happy about, and also obviously passed level 1 all by myself. But I've now managed to do with the bookkeeping AAT. It's very important to get like a good qualification, which we can talk about later. If you're like where I am at, I'm in the minimum wage job currently. Nothing wrong with that, but if you want to create a better future for yourself, if you need certification, then it will mean you need to restudy, or if you need to go into a trade, that you can as well. But for me, obviously, it's going to be more like accounting. Later on after bookkeeper, it'll be an accountant. But I've now managed to find like an online tuition, online teacher, so it made the progress a lot quicker for me. And sometimes it's worth paying for that extra knowledge, and obviously they've gone through it all and they understand it all, and they have that hindsight that you don't have because you haven't got it all figured out. So I've been having online tuition, and I think like last week ago, 9th of July, I passed my level 2 part 2, which now means I've now passed my level 2 AAT bookkeeping. So this means now I'm only one level away after level 3, and then I'm a fully qualified bookkeeper, which means I can do bookkeeping services for people. I probably might want to be employed first of all, but obviously as quickly as possible I want to be self-employed, because obviously I get the full benefits. Obviously I've got to take risk in finding people. I was about to put my name out there in finding people, but I can make a lot more money by doing it that way. As plus there's more tax breaks and benefits, but then obviously there is more risk, and that's why that risk is rewarded if it does go well. But the good thing about it is that qualification can never be taken away from me. Oh, nice scenery view, but that's not what we want. We want me. That qualification, it's good. Hey, oh, hello. As I said, yes, that qualification can never be taken away from you. And bumping into a few people being tested for my social anxiety, which is fine. It's a good test. It does build the fortitude of character. It's something you've got to get used to, because it is like a social program, because it's not like a normal thing you normally do. Recording yourself and talking, it's like a foreign thing. If you've never done it before, it's going to feel foreign. But if you build up the muscle, the only way to describe it really helps me. It's like you've got to think about your future self exceeds. It's got to exceed what you think other people may be thinking about you or not thinking about you. And even if they are, so what? Do you really want that to stop you? Obviously, if you're not being unreasonable or like unfair when you're like filming in public and like in the park, if you know what I mean, if you're not going beyond that, then there should be no problem, and this is something you're going to have to get used to. So this was like my second or third attempt actually to film this video, so I don't think I just have it all figured out. I bumped into a few people and it was just like, no, not really just yet. But it's about getting a bit closer, building that muscle. Once you start getting in that flow and doing it more often, it's a lot easier because I've been away for so long. But anyway, getting back to it, I've now qualified in my level AAT level 2, and then I'm also going to look forward to doing level 3, which means I'll be a bookkeeper. And I had a little look online, so you can earn anything from about 15, 30 to 40 pounds on freelancer as like a self-employed bookkeeper. And also you're going to get letters after your name, and it opens more doors and there's more potential career paths. And also this enabled me to save up more. And obviously I'm very grateful for the job that I have, but I know it's not as fulfilling. And careful, sometimes like the culture cannot always be like the best sometimes, if you know what I mean. Like, that'd be better to be in a more professional working environment, and like I'm wanting to help people, and be a bit more respected because the position of authority, helping solve people with the problems that they're having, I find it really rewarding. And working with the paperwork, it's going to be comes messing up, and much more rewarding, I think. So that's what I've been up to. And obviously I haven't had much time to record because obviously it was like intense studying, and level 2 part 2 is much more intense and much harder. I really did feel like it took a piece of my soul when I took that test. I nearly cried at one point because something wasn't working, but I did manage to figure it out. Wasn't fully happy with how it all went, but I had to do what I had to do, and I still passed. That's all that matters. I passed my level 2. I want to go back in the future and upgrade it to get like into a merit or a distinction. I can. There's no time pressures and there's no worries, and it'll be even easier later on because I've done it so many times, and it'll be like second nature, like boom, 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 done. So it's just basically like a set of rules. Once you learn them, it becomes a lot easier just understanding the set of rules. There's like some things like contradict each other. One thing's this way, one thing's that way, kind of thing. But that's what I first found when I was doing level 2 part 1. I did find that, it felt weird. Like, one way's this and that and that. But just basically learn like the set rules, and then eventually it does get better. It does get better. So yeah, I really do appreciate all the people that have subscribed to me, and apologies for being away for so long. Hopefully you have not. Hopefully you have improved your hand and you're in a better position, or even if you're not in such a good position, or even a worse position, which is hopefully very unfortunate. Hopefully we can work on the way, or yourself, if you watch a bit of my content, or if you want to find someone else, that's okay. But I would prefer obviously if you watch my content. But it's like we can work on it together, and I'm going to be here for you. You're going to be here for me. And sometimes there may be like some things. It's easier when you have someone there with you, and a support network. And that was one of the biggest things that I've actually really learned. I tried to do that. I couldn't do it all alone. You can't do it all alone. And I tried to do that with my bookkeeping. I said I wasn't going to do that, get a pay-per online tuition till I reached level 3 AAT bookkeeping, because I thought I could do level 2 AAT bookkeeping all by myself, because I originally did pass AAT level 2 bookkeeping, but that was many years ago when it was a lot easier. They obviously made it a lot harder now, my online tuition just said. So obviously that's clearly probably why I did pass back then. But I think I tried to do like network engineering because there was more like money, and I didn't enjoy it, and then that's it. And then obviously got a bit lost for quite a while, and now I found my path again, which is really important. And don't let anyone just persuade you just because you're older now. Doesn't mean it's over. Far from it. There's no guarantees in life. It might be over, might not be, but don't just go into a state of apathy or not caring. Or like, I can't be asked anymore because I ain't got long left. It's a really nihilistic, apathetic mindset to have, and it's something that has to be addressed. And I do see that a ton in a lot of people. Obviously not to the varying degree like I'm going to myself, but you've got to be careful not to get run over. Come on. But that's the sort of thing. So that's a lot of people do. They get stuck in apathy and not caring, and I do see that a lot of people. And yeah, it's just really unfortunate. But no, I'm really glad. I have to say, it's so important to find someone. You will thank yourself so much. If you don't, that's one thing for this video I would say. Find someone if they got the information that you need to get you further ahead in your career or to resolve your life. It is worth paying the money. You can always get more money. And I'm not saying that money's like just gonna be like squandered, but your future self would thank you. I mean, I'm so grateful that I did that and I decided to not become rigid. I'm stuck in my mind, and I took that leap, took the risk, because it is a risk, because obviously there's a financial outlay, but it has helped me grow so much more, so much quicker. I've got my level 2 done quicker. So I think she's saying about 3 times quicker I got it done. So it's highly worth it. Finding like a good mentor, someone who's like further along in the journey than you, or even watching people who have done it wrong and learning from them. You don't want to have too many mentors, because that can become like a problem, especially if they're contradicting one another. You can learn like the idea, that broad concept, fine from them, but like that's like a wide idea. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. You've got to get stuck in stagnation, and you're just going to be treading water, and then you're going to think, like, why am I still here, like 1 year later, 2 years later? But no, I'm going to be continuing on with my level 3 soon. Obviously, once my tutor, bookkeeping, is returned back from my holiday, and I've obviously returned back from holiday, obviously with my fiance, so we're both going to celebrate, because we've both done well in our exams. Looking forward to treating her, going for like a nice cottage holiday in the countryside. That's because that's something we both really enjoy, being out. This thing, being out in nature. So this is a little update about basically what I've been up to, where I've been, and how things have been going for me. So it's also very important now to get back on track, and I will be making more content, and there will be resistance. Once you start this path, you will be tested by your own mind and other people's minds, some other people's faults that might even be theirs, that's been implemented long ago, before they were born. And obviously you may even have them absorbed in your mind, but they're not really your fault, but they're causing that pain. But they do need to be adjusted and learned about and undone and unpacked. Even if it doesn't add more ones and zeros to your bank account, having that extra peace of mind is so much more beautiful. And that obviously you will get the pushback. You will get pushback and you'll be tested. They'll say, oh yeah, it doesn't pay the bills. I've heard this from people. It doesn't pay the bills. It's all this voodoo kind of thing they say. But they don't have a clear state of mind. I'll tell you that. I watch the way they are. Their mind is not clear, which is worth its weight in gold. You can always get more money by doing more extra hours, but having a good clarity, a clear mind is vital. So that's some things that I say is like, it's all that voodoo things, it doesn't make you any money. But sometimes you have to do things that don't always make money, but put the work in for future growth. It's really important to unpack things and to things, and also you're going to get pushed back and people are going to get jealous. And obviously they can't overtly say it, I'm jealous of you, and put it down, because that's not unacceptable, like socially, and it can make them look bad. So something you're going to have to watch out for is like very toxic people, narcissistic people. Obviously you can't diagnose them as narcissist, but they're not qualified. But you know they can be narcissistic, not narcissist, or toxic, and you can then put boundaries up to protect yourself. Hey, you okay? Cool. Beautiful. It's very important to protect yourself from like harmful things. So they will test you and people will belittle it and make fun of it. Let's find somewhere to sit, shall we? People will make fun of it. I just feel like I feel a lot better now. Because sometimes that used to really put me off, like their reaction and walk past them. That did have an impact on how I felt. Now it's getting a bit better. So sometimes their own insecurities isn't a projection onto you, kind of thing. But you will be tested. Well, once you start doing this, you will get pushed back. And obviously, if they're not doing as well, they won't like it. I'll catch my breath, and then they might have to try to shut it down because they don't want to see that light put out, and they have to. It's questioning the norm, and you're disrupting their narrative of how they want it. Just imagine it's like 5 years of your life. They want it to coast along, and you've got someone here, like you've got a smooth pond, and then someone coming along and just like shaking the water. Not obviously you've been toxic, but they're going to perceive it. It's like a shaking of the water, and they don't like it. So you're just going to have to accept it as part of the fact. Once you start to do better, if people start to belittle you, you know that either it's like something that's been put into them by like an idea, like TV, or other things, or they have malicious intent, or benign. Just because it's malicious doesn't mean benign is just as bad. But it's about putting protective filters up, and if it is affecting you, then you need to address it. You know what I mean? Like I'm 40 years old nearly now. It's like a lot of people would like to give up. It's like, oh, it's like you're 40 now, why bother? I notice it a lot. I see it so much. I see it so much in people, and don't be one of them people. You will not thank yourself when you're a lot older. Not even a deathbed. Not even on your deathbed. Got to be a bit careful here because it is a sensitive subject. Even if you're on your deathbed. Hopefully that won't be for like a long time for anyone or anyone who's watching this content. But just like even like 5 years down the line for yourself, think of your future self. And this doesn't mean you have to be like a complete dick. Like, I like this stand. Got a little tripod. But this doesn't mean you have to be a complete piece of dick. You don't have to be like nasty to get money, or like be to get money kind of thing. It's like sometimes it's just good to be in nature. Right now I'm in nature talking to the camera and having a really lovely time. This is like my mental clarity. This is worth a lot. Not many people get this. A lot of people go home, sit down and watch for TV. They would never think to do this. This would be like it's too foreign to them. They wouldn't see this as mental clarity. So you have to break the norm in the narrative. You have to break the norm in the narrative. I know this is like some kind of like wide concept, but this is like my first video back, and I'm really glad to be back. But I think I would have been making more content a bit sooner if I did. There's another piece of information it's another good use of information why it's so vital to be careful who you listen to for advice. This person didn't have malicious intent. They are a very clever person, like a chartered accountant, clever person. But they told me to do my level 2, part 1 and part 2 together. And I thought, okay, I'll take his advice. And I did. And this made me a lot more slower in getting my level 2 completed. Just because it wasn't malicious, it was benign, but for me, it was the wrong information. So sometimes having that wrong information can actually hold you back more, and you have to give that up. And I'm glad I decided to go against him eventually. I should have gave up soon, not given up, but disregarded and found the truth a lot quicker. So it's very important to take on board what you're listening to, what someone's saying, and think about it in the deeper and broader context. Even if you don't like what the person's saying is, but if you can understand like the energy and like deep down, if you know the intentions are pure and it's beneficial to you, then that's something to think. For some people that might have been the right information, but for me it wasn't. So that was an example. So that was why I lead it on to, like, it's got to be careful what you listen to and why you listen to people and what they're saying, kind of thing. So that's the kind of thing. But obviously, like, if people come out in the woods, enjoy nature, they'll be in such a mental place, but they're too busy wrapped up with the TV, the flat screen TVs. When I was a child, there were big box TVs, but I have to say, once my TV breaks, I probably won't even be replacing it. I'm not a TV person anymore. I'd rather make content and watch certain content and interact with my audience. But when I was growing up, there used to be like 4 channels to a TV. I think it was 4. Now it's 5. But now there's thousands, tens of thousands, and there isn't much better programs on there really. It's just like rehashing, reruns, which is fine. Obviously, people relicense and buy it and put it onto their channel. If you know what I mean. We're meant to grow and inspire, but it feels like the TV's there to keep you small and contracted. And this doesn't always mean like money, like you have to be multi-millionaire kind of thing. I guess it could mean different things to different people. That might mean nothing to someone. Someone might just want to be like me, like enjoying nature and also having a good peace of mind and a good clarity and a good understanding. Because if you're agitated the whole time, what have you got really, kind of thing. It's good to have a good clear mind. I have to say, I didn't always have a good clear mind. Still feel a little bit self-conscious, but I think I'm doing a lot better. Post in the comment section box below if you think that. So it's really important to obviously get back to where you're at. And sometimes this might mean you might actually have to get rid of some people out in your life. And I have been distancing myself from certain people that I know, I wouldn't call them friends and I would never associate them ever, but obviously sometimes you're going to have to be around people that you don't want to be around, kind of thing. Hey, still feels weird. I want to find a nice quiet spot thing. Eventually people might start knowing who I am, and this eventually won't faze me at all. You know what I mean? Eventually if I want to move, I will want to move, not because of anxiety. But this is just a reflection of one things that I need to work on, so don't punish yourself for it too harshly. I was so bad with my social anxiety, I could barely say hi to someone. But then again, it took a lot of time, self-reflection. But it's not to put too much expectation upon that conversation if you're struggling just to say hi to someone. Just keep it as that. No expectations beyond that. And no attachment or like past interactions upon that. Why that one didn't go well. We keep it that way. Eventually it does get better. You have to remember, they're probably just as nervous as you, or they could be even more nervous. Maybe they could be like, you don't know. Or maybe they're just having a bad day, or maybe they just don't want to talk, just because of all them things are the unknowns that's going on in their head. Or maybe they're not very socially aware, you know what I mean? Which is all fine. You don't want to let that interaction stop you from your future interactions and your future growth. It's really important to focus on that. But as I was going back to the other thing, but sometimes you're going to have to interact with people that you don't want to, and you're going to have to learn to realise that they're not always going to have like the best intentions, and to distance yourself. And it's important to put boundaries into place. Got beautiful horses here. Can we see them? Can we see them? Kind of thing. don't know. Something went wrong there. Maybe you saw them, I don't know. The camera went weird. But the important thing is you might have to distance yourself from them. And some... Oh, hello, horsey. You're having a good old scratch there. So this is what it's about, enjoying nature. Can I just hello, see? It's about having fun. Hello, horsey. Hello. Oh, I would have given him some affection, but maybe not. He's letting me know he's not wanting to be sociable. Or he's saying hi, I don't know. But it's a big horse. It could be like a friendly greet, I don't know. So yeah, some things are important, but this will mean like you will have to lose people. There are people in your life you're eventually going to have to cut out. There's some people that are very toxic, like I know right now, and I'm having to be very careful. And I know that they're not good people. Very, very, very jealous. Very jealous and very sneaky way that they do the passive aggressive attacks kind of thing. That's something you have to learn to build resilience, and it's not something that's going to be comfortable. You can't control the people you're around, but you can control the people you're around, and you don't have to interact with them too much. You just try to get away from them as much as possible. It doesn't mean like you're being like a coward and like for your own peace and sanity of mind. It's like, why would you wanting to keep getting yourself beaten up and then be a punching bag for this person? Obviously you've got to be, you know what I mean? These people will have no mercy and will just keep repeating the cycle, and you're just like a free punching bag. So, and also silence is one of the best things. I don't know where I am even anymore. Silence is one of the best things because it causes chaos, because they want a reaction. They like to see people in turmoil and suffering because they're not happy within their own life. I've got to be careful not to get caught out in the rain, because this is how I got sick last time. So I might have to start heading back in a bit. And I don't know where back is at the moment, but that's the mystery, it's the fun of it. So you're going to have to shelter yourself. This will mean new things, new change. And it's scary, and you're going to get reverted back. You're going to, and one of the things is something called the crabs in the bucket syndrome. If you start to do better or start to do things slightly different, people will notice that, and they'll try to suck it back down or try to squash it out. Some people won't. A lot of people won't, because they're decent. But some people will, because they're not right in the head. If you know what I mean. I don't know why people... It's like a jealousy thing, but they could have their own garden of paradise, just like your own version, but their own version, if they're willing to put the work in. But they're not willing to put the work in. They're not happy people. But so, and as you're putting the work in, and they're not willing to push through the resistance, because there will be resistance. There's going to be so many resistance of like unknowns and known things that you have to go through. And they're not willing to put that work in, and they don't like it, and that you're doing well, and they see you flourishing. And it's like a mirror of how they're ungrowth. So why would you want to be around that kind of person anyway? And besides, you also got to be very careful. They could be sneaky. Obviously in the workplace there's varying degrees from like gossip and things like that, and also you've got like worse end, like slander, defamation, sabotage, or like misrepresentations. And also you've got to be very careful how you retaliate, because obviously they're experts at turning it around and playing the victim. They're experts at that. And they call out the narrative, or they'll just play dumb. And then there's like, then they see you all emotionally unsettled. They're like, why has he been so emotionally unsettled? You see, you can't win with them, and that's what they want. They want that reaction so they can feed, to make them look like they're like the same one, and you're like the emotionally unstable one. I think it's called triangulation, something in psychology. Not a psychologist, can't diagnose, but you can observe and you can make observations. You think that person has that. I think that person's that. And even if you don't think that, you can notice that they're toxic. You can definitely say they're toxic as fuck. Toxic, I don't mean to swear, I don't want to get flagged, but they're toxic as hell. You can definitely say that. And things like that. So that's one thing to be mindful of. So this is where I'm at. I've had a lot more growth, and before I even made this video, I was not doing so good. I was great, but I feel like my path was steered off, you know what I mean? I got into the groove of like just like plugging out the studying. Now making this content has made me feel a lot better. But you know what I mean? So this is how implications have happened. Like me listening to that guy for advice cost me like more time than I would have done when taking in to do it myself. So I could have made content sooner and got level 2 done. I could have even been on level 3 right now, or even a good chunk towards in it. But I'm not, but it is what it is. No point dwelling on it, ruminating on it. It's all about moving forward as much as possible and not getting run over by the car behind me. Right, it's very important to have good situational awareness. Not in the aspects of physicalness, but obviously people. Sensing energies and things. And this doesn't mean that just because I say if I know people who are highly religious, this does not mean giving up your religious faith. If you're into like gone. See? The Abrahamic faith. I mean this just means it's because I talk about energies and like understanding people's vibrations. This doesn't mean giving up like your faith system or corruption of the faith system. It gives you a deeper, greater understanding of people because he doesn't get involved at that level. That's for you to figure out. If you're there, if you know what I mean, that's for you thing to figure out, kind of thing. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that. So if you're watching like TV, it's very important to maybe even just like start tracking like how much you watch your phone. On the iPhone, that's cool, it's got a tractor. Watching your iPhone, how much are you using your phone? If it's not for productive means, then that's something that needs to be addressed. If it is for production work, great. But for like entertainment, not so good. And so we're not 15 anymore. We're not 15 anymore. Why would we need to be entertained all the time? Like we can make your own entertainment. We're at the whim of others, kind of thing. Why do you need to be entertained like from like a TV program? So like working on yourself is so much more rewarding. Like if you start to invest, it's so much more thankful in your future self, and you can build a future home for yourself if you find a partner. And I'm very fortunate to find like a very lovely partner. Honoured to be a partner. I'm very happy, very very happy. And I want to create a better future for ourselves, and I want to eventually get like a lovely place with my fiance and like in the countryside where we can grow things and forage and do these things. But to do these things, they cost money, and you can't get that by watching TV. And also it sucks the energy away, and you'll notice it. Now when I play video games, I don't play video games now, I used to feel like crap afterwards, like a low level depression. And that's why I took the leap and I sold my PlayStation 5 and I've deleted Steam, hundreds of games, some of them not even played. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice, and you might make this sacrifice this time, but you might have to make it again. You don't always get it right this first time, but just because you made it and it didn't work, don't give up, try again. You can always try again. If you know what I mean. So if I want to live with my fiance, there's just some things I'm going to have to give up, and I want to give up. I want to create a better future for myself, and also I want to be around like more better people. You know what I mean? Once I'm doing my bookkeeping, get to the point where I can do it freelance, I mean, I can choose to be the people around I want to be with more, and not want to be around more. You know what I mean? I have more independence. You know what I mean? And it would be so much better. And it's a time for change, because I've been in that job role now for a long time, and it is a time for a change. I feel like I'm now overstaying my welcome. Well, I'm not overstaying my welcome. I'm very grateful for the job, and I do my job very well. But it is time for a change. And it's all around the corner, but you have to take that first step, by stepping into the unknown. This is why I'm walking on this path, because if you're further along the journey than me, great. If you're not, you don't know what the future path is, and it's stepping into the unknown. And there's so many unknowns. And then also when you walk forward, you're stuck in your mind, and you got other people's thoughts and ideas like dragging you different directions that you don't even know that you've been dragged and brought in that direction that may not be actually beneficial for you. Like, sometimes it might be money, it might be great, but other things it might suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? And you don't have to always grind it out. You don't always have to grind it out. And now I'm just sort of like having to walk back home. You know what I mean? This is now my day off for work. And I'm probably going to go back, tidy my room, clear state of mind, and obviously rewatch this video and upload it. And then probably do some more studying and have like a yummy lunch. But another thing I'd have to say is, also if you're in that position, improving your diet helps so much more. Having good food, good nutrition, as much as you possibly could, avoiding the junk food and the processed food, depending where you're at. And if you're in family, with family, they may push you back against it, making like, oh, you're too good for us now. That is a possibility. But they also might change. But if you're in the position where you can afford your own food, and you can afford it, I would definitely advise you make a change. Some small changes, don't go deep. Just make changes and build up over time with eating healthier, and it becomes easier, and you do feel a lot better. That's one thing I have to say. I do feel a lot better for eating cleaner, better. Rarely eat junk food. Sometimes I do, which is not good, I know, but I do strike out mainly pretty healthy. But you'll get pushed back against your family. You will be tested, so that is something that's all going to come. You're going to have to build the muscle and see it as like a gift, as an opportunity to build the muscle. If it's like teasing, and you're used to it, but eventually, I've had enough of this now. I start like, boom. But see it as it's going to happen. You got to see it as part of the process. To see it as like it's hard. I don't always achieve it, but I always try to achieve the mindset of it's just like admiration in a weird way, but in a twisted way, if you know what I mean. But it's beneficial for me. If it works for you, great. But no, hopefully you've been keeping well. And I'm back to my same spot, even the same post. Not the same post, I just got spiked. Not the same post. Yeah, it's further along. So yeah, I will be making more content, walking in the woods, being in nature. And that's just the sort of thing I want to do, and I just like thoroughly enjoy it. And obviously, I will be making more content. But you will stay stagnant. If you keep listening to these people, I did it for too long, way too long. Listening to other people's thoughts and beyond mine. But then again, in a weird way, maybe it worked out for the better. Maybe it's a bit more fortitude of character, and I've understanding of the concepts as I thought them through more, like both sides. And other people might probably project on and say it was a complete waste of time. But then sometimes when I look at how they are, they don't have the clarity kind of thing. All glitching out. Hey, so that's some things to think about. See, I'm almost coming out of the countryside now. So that will be one thing that will happen. Just make the choice now and keep making the choice. And don't quit. Don't quit. And don't fall into, as I said, that state of apathy. That is a major trap that people have. Apathy, nihilism, why bother? It could all be over. It ain't working for me. It comes easier to other people than me. I have to struggle. It's easy for them. They don't have the problems that I have. All that stuff will keep you small. Doesn't mean ones and zeros in the bank, but also the mind. I promise you. It's something that needs to be worked. Be an optimistic sort of person. And obviously from people, you will get pushback. You're going to get so much pushback. I promise you. But it is worth it if you're willing to push through. But don't be a dick about it, obviously. But no, I think this is coming to the end of this I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I will be making all sorts of content, obviously about handling people and concepts. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and this really has helped me a lot, and I'm feeling quite a bit better now. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I think, yeah, there's some things to wrap up on. I might make more shorts or more talk about this conversations and subject later about the things that we discussed. Break it down into separate videos, but we'll go from there. Hopefully you've been keeping well and you have been making more progress with your journey and you're in a better place now. And yeah, hopefully you've been keeping well. It's good to see you back, and yeah, I'm really glad to be back, and I'm really happy for my journey. About to start my level 3. I'm engaged, about to go on a lovely holiday with my fiance. Lots of good things are going to be coming around the corner, and that's another trap. Bad things may come in the future, but don't let it ruin your today. And if they do, you can deal with them then. And the best way to solve that, obviously, is certain things that can't ever be fixed, but you can improve your hand so you don't get struck out by other things. There's some things that you can do to help yourself. Anyway, I think that's enough for today, and I'll look forward to seeing you later. Bye-bye.